welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host, Jennifer. It's just going to be an update today. I want to show you what I've been up to. I've been kind of busy. I've been kind of going nonstop, doing one thing or another, and I'm a little bit tired. So I'm not as high energy today as I probably have been in past videos, so please bear with me. All right, so the first thing that I have been doing, the thing that I have made my priority this week, has been getting my garden ready. It is actually it's a little bit late in the year for me to get plants in the ground, but I have no plants in the ground as of yet. I know when I lived in Michigan, you couldn't get plants in the ground. Like, it was a rule to get plants in the ground on Mother's Day. So Mother's Day and around Mother's Day, everybody would flock to the nurseries and buy all their plants and get them in the ground. But where I live currently in Virginia, like, it usually is in April. But the way things are looking, nothing is going to be in the ground until after Mother's Day. But I have a good start, and I'm going to show you a picture here of what I have done this week. All right, now what that should have been is a little video clip of my planting table. It is actually more full than what that video shows because I took that video before I finished the planting. The table is covered every square inch of plants. I planted, 144 vegetable plants. I will not plant all of those into the ground. They are either going to be sold or given away in my neighborhood. So what have I planted? Do you guys care? I know this is mostly a crochet channel, but I know that some people have shown interest in, my garden life. If you're not interested, you can just fast forward like a minute or two, because this is going to be like a short little section. I just want to tell everybody what was planted. What is planted? I planted bell peppers. I planted poblanos and jalapenos because those are the vegetables that get eaten the most in my house. I planted pickling cucumbers, so they're small bush pickles. It's just someone asked me in one of my last videos, what is a bush pickle? And does it come back every year? Vegetables don't come back every year. They just grow for a season. Bush pickles just means the way it grows is more bush form instead of the normal cucumber plants, which spread all over the ground. But I'm also growing regular cucumbers as well, and I'm probably going to pickle a lot of those. Let's see. Tomatoes. I planted 72 tomato plants. I'm never going to use that many tomatoes, but I like a variety of tomatoes in my my garden. So I planted little yellow bell-shaped tomatoes because they are so sweet and delicious, and they're really good in a caprese style salad. I planted rainbow tomatoes, which I don't know what that is, but we'll see. I bought it because they were different colors. We'll see what happens with those. I planted beefsteak tomatoes, and I planted just your basic everyday tomatoes. But what I haven't done yet, because these usually go straight into the ground, is I haven't planted my herbs, and I plan on planting basil and cilantro, and then I haven't planted my carrots yet because carrots go straight into the ground. You sow the seeds in the dirt and then they grow from there. Carrots do not transplant, so you can't start them as a seed and then transplant them. They will not do well. So that's what I've been doing. I've been a lot of getting my fingernails dirty, and actually I'm surprised they're as clean as they are right now. There's still some little bit of earth under my nails, but that's what happens in the summer. I have a rose that needs to go in the ground and some flowers that need to go in the ground, but that will all come in due time because it has been really wet and rainy the past week and a half, and it's just been nasty, kind of chilly weather, and it's not the time to go out in the garden. And I have a lot of weeding and cleaning out my garden beds that need to be done, and maybe when I go out there and work on that, I'll do little video clippets if you guys are interested. Well, I know some of you are interested, and some of you are like, I don't want to see your garden, I don't want to hear about your garden, but you know, whatever. Speaking of which, I just want to say something, okay? I know things are tough for a lot of you guys right now, but I have gotten an influx of just rude comments. Rude comments in my Facebook group, rude comments on my videos. And guys, that is not okay. If you are in a cranky mood, you can just turn the video off and go lay down or something. Don't stick around and just make nasty comments to people. Nobody needs that right now, and it's not cool. It is not cool. I did that whole video on anti-bullying. Go back and watch that. Bullying and being rude and being nasty is not okay. I don't care how moody you are. Now, with that being said, let's get on to some fun stuff. You guys want to see what I've been making? Let's see. I'm currently working on another rug, but I don't have that in here because it's in a project bag. It's going to be beautiful. It is with all of these little tiny scrap balls. So it's going to be like it's going to be total rag rug. You know those rag rugs that, well, my mom used to have on the carpet. Well, not the carpet. She used to have in the kitchen. The rag rugs with like different colored stripes. And they're basically sewed together scrap fabric. That is my idea behind my rug. And I will show that to you next week because it is halfway done. It's taking longer though because I'm constantly connecting new yarn in. But let me show you what else I have made. I made this out of scraps and I held 2 yarns together. Trying to show you. I don't remember. The first yarn is like a total rainbow fuzzy yarn. It was a really strange yarn and I just had a ball of it. I don't know where it came from or why it was in my stash, but I held it together with, I think, mostly a white skein of yarn, and then I held it together with a gray to do the edging because it ran out of the white. This is totally Southwestern to me. I love the way this turned out. And this is just the 1 ball shawl from Marley Bird. By the way, Marley Bird totally commented on one of my posts on Instagram and I freaked out a little bit. It's like, oh my God, she actually read it. I mean, I tagged her, but still. So it's just 1 ball shawl. It does not go with this outfit. It's very Southwestern to me. It reads very like New Mexico. And I just got fuzz all over my face. So yeah. Pictures of all this stuff can be found on my Instagram. I'm trying to make an effort to take pictures of everything again. Because I have not picked up my camera in a very long time. Until this past week. I lost the battery and I lost the charger. Which the charger is right there. I finally found it. I was able to charge my battery and actually use my camera. And maybe at the end I'll put in some pictures that I've taken this week. Because we went on a drive to get out of the house. Because quite frankly, we're all going stir crazy. And even though the national park is not open, we drove towards it to be closer to the mountains. Because I'm only about an hour drive from the mountains. And I really love the mountains. And the mountains make me happy. And it was rainy and gloomy and like gross out. But that doesn't mean that the mountains are less beautiful. Because honestly, the mountains are more beautiful when it's darker or when it's gloomy because they turn blue. Which is why they're called the Blue Ridge Mountains. Anyway. Then I made this. Again, I held 2 yarns together. I have no idea what these yarns were, but they were really, really nice to work with. And I made another one of these little, I should probably name this pattern because I make it a lot. Make it a lot. And it's fun to make. You guys got any suggestions for the name of this? I really, really like it. If you guys come up with a good name, maybe I'll write the pattern for this. Even though I showed you how to do it already. Isn't that pretty? It has points. Made this. I really like this. I actually already wore this. I wore this out the other day because it was kind of chilly out. I just threw it on with my dress. I really like these because this is a way you could wear crochet in the spring and summer months when it's kind of hot and it's too hot for like a shawl or something, but you want to wear something pretty. Just make this out of cotton. This is not cotton. I don't know what this is. It is really nice. I think one of them is probably acrylic and the other one might be wool. I don't know, but actually, I held together 3 kinds of yarn here. There is one that was blue, green, and white. There was just a plain white one. And then I held together some of that green baby yarn with a sparkle running through it from like the 70s or whenever. I have so much of that. I'm trying to use it up on my rug now. Hopefully it'll be gone because it tends to multiply. All right, now I made this. I'm so in love with this. You guys know I love the Corley colors. There is a yarn that I have had on my shelf forever. I got it at the thrift store. It was called Fluffy. It is by a company called Unger. I believe that's how you say it, U-N-G-E-R. I will insert a picture here. And it was in this gorgeous corally color. I also had 2 balls in the yellow, which I didn't know I had, but they had a different label on it. I think they were Red Heart, but they were really, really old from like the 70s. They are old skeins of yarn. They are so old. And then I had a little tiny ball of pink, all in the same. The yellow one said that it was fake mohair, 100% acrylic. The peach Unger, I believe, said that it was 100% virgin acrylic. I don't know what that means, but and then the pink was just a ball. But they were all the same. You guys can see. It was really super soft, fluffy yarn. And I held them together with an almost exact color pink here. And then I moved into the coral right here. So this is coral yarn mixed with the pink fluff. So it gave you this color. And then the coral yarn with the coral fluff turned into that color. And then the coral yarn with the yellow fluff gave you like an orangey. And then yellow yarn with yellow fluff. I'm telling you guys, I have the world's perfect stash. I have I don't know what is going on. The past several weeks since I've been working my stash down, I have found exactly what I needed, exactly when I needed it in my stash. So that tells you that thrift store yarn is like magic. It still holds the magic from the original owner, and then you get like your own magic going in there, and you find the perfect yarns for the perfect projects. And I was saving this peachy colored fluff because it was so beautiful that I didn't know what I was going to do with it, and it was really thin, and I didn't know. I needed the perfect project, and I could not see what the perfect project was. But then when I started working this up, I gathered all the supplies, the pink and the pink fluff, the coral and the coral fluff, the yellow and the yellow fluff, all of which was scraps in my scrap bucket from the thrift store. Amazing. Okay? And then I made the Marley Bird 1-ball shawl, but I made it out of like lots and lots of balls. So we're going to call this the Lots of Balls shawl. And how beautiful is this? It is like, these are my colors, guys. These are my colors. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so perfect. And it's so, so me. I love everything about this shawl. And this is the shawl that Marley Bird commented on. Because I put the joke, I keep hitting the table so my camera is vibrating, so I apologize for that. But I put in the description on my Instagram about this that it's the 1-ball shawl for Marley Bird, but as my Jojo says from Jo's Web, and I will link Jo's Web below, she calls this the 1-ball shawl, or the Lance Armstrong shawl. 1-ball Lance Armstrong. If you guys don't know about Lance Armstrong, look it up. It's hilarious. And Marley Bird thought that Jo's joke was funny, which, hello, awesome. She commented. I freaked out a little bit. Obviously, she thinks Jo is funny and not me, but, you know, whatever. She actually looked at my post and commented. I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, it's Marley Bird. So, that's my beautiful, this is my favorite thing this week. Just because of those colors and the fluffiness. Oh, Yarn companies need to make some more of this because nobody's making this right now. This faux mohair, this beautiful fluff. I would love to buy some of that. It is like I want to say it's a number 2 weight yarn. And oh, it's so, so nice. So I would really like to see somebody make, isn't that pretty? Look at them colors, man. I am so in love with that. And then I got super creative. And I think I have a picture of this yarn as well. And if I have a picture of this yarn was funky. It was like a really thin boucle yarn. If I have a picture of it, I will insert that right here. And if I don't have a picture, you didn't see anything. But I think I do have a picture of this yarn. I mixed this, I held it double with just purple, just a really thin 3-weight purple. And the yarn is like, you see the bumpiness in it? It is a weird yarn, and it was self-striping. So we got blues, greens, there's yellows, and I totally went funky with this one, guys. I started off with the Marley Bird pattern, okay? And then I kicked it into high gear, and I moved into the virus pattern, the virus shawl. And then I went back to a variation of the 1-ball shawl for Marley Bird. But I did my increases differently here than the Marley Bird shawl. I did 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. And then I went back and I ran out of the bumpy yarn. So I held together, I think this is Red Heart Super Saver purple something or other. And I held it together with the glittery yarn, the glittery baby yarn to make the border back in the virus shawl. I am really proud of this. It feels weird because of the bumpiness of that yarn. It just feels weird, but it is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. And I am so proud of myself. I like putting different patterns together and like changing it up. Isn't that pretty? I am so proud of that. So that's another little shawl that I've made this week. I think it's gorgeous. That's it for the shawls and the wearables. I made 2 more baskets. And the reason I made 2 more baskets, I got to show you guys because I'm super proud of this, okay? This is going to be kind of janky, but this is the bucket that was overflowing with scraps that I have been working down. And it wasn't just scraps, because if you guys recall, when I was cleaning in here, I was cleaning. I was doing some deep cleaning, and I'm actually really proud of that. I rearranged. I put a new bookshelf in here. I moved everything around, and I just really like the new configuration of my office. It is so much nicer in here, and we got the desk up against the mirror wall. It's just, anyway, this is my bucket that had the older skeins of yarn that I took off the shelf to make room for new yarn, and my scrap bucket, which has tons of little scrap balls, okay? This was overflowing. This was filled to the max. And it got down low enough, it was probably, I'd say, a third full with scraps. So I worked through 2/3 of this bucket in the past 2.5 weeks. And it got low enough to where all the skeins of yarn were starting to like unravel and tangle, and it was just making a mess. So I figured if I made some more baskets, like this one, I can empty the bucket, and that will be like a step closer to my goals. So the first basket I made, and it's filled with balls, so it looks janky, but it's just just scraps. So it's brown, and I think I held 2 or 3 yarns together. I can't tell right now. I think I held 2 worsted weights together. So we started off with the brown, and then the brown and blue variegated held together, and then I ran out of the straight brown, so the brown and blue was mixed with green, and then I moved gray with it, and then I kept changing the color a little bit, and that's my basket. Isn't that cool? But yeah, it's pushing out on some spots because it's got a lot of balls in there. But this is my scraps left over. My balls, my scraps left over. With the exception of the littlest ones. I took the littlest balls and stuck them in here. These are going into a rug. Hopefully I can empty this into the rug. But if we put that in here, this is what I have left of my scraps from that big bucket. Okay. And then I made this one. And this basket was not made out of scraps. It was made out of one skein of the Couture Home from Premier, which is a, I think it's a Jumbo 7 or a super bulky 6 or something yarn. But I filled it with full skeins that either came off my shelf or that was in my scrap bucket from the thrift store. So we have Cascade yarns. This was from the thrift store. It was originally $5.50. I got a bag of this for, I don't know, like $1. So I have a bunch of those, and I have some Premier Parfait, and I got a half-used soft from, you know, just skeins. So this is what's left of my skeins. And this is the basket I made out of the Couture Home. This is just one skein. And it could have been taller if I didn't add this, you know, cool little design, but I thought that gave it like a Southwest Native American type vibe because of the color and the, you know, I just thought it was cool. Isn't that cute? And again, it's all wonky because it's filled. So, yeah. I think I'm doing really good working down my scraps, and I'm actually really proud of myself. And I felt like making the red basket was a brand new skein of yarn. I felt like that was a treat because I was doing so good. It was like I rewarded myself. And yeah, I put this beautiful skein, well, I got 2 of these. I put these back on the shelf because they were in my scraps, but I'm going to make a shawl out of these. And then I caked up this yellow. I'm going to make this into a shawl. So this was in my scraps, but I moved it off my scraps and put it on my shelf because I thought it was too pretty to be in the scrap pile, honestly. And in putting them on the shelf is like rickety. It's like that pressed fiberboard crap. I knocked something down off the shelf and I broke my one and only studio light. So now I have to try and replace those light bulbs. And they are not cheap. Anyway, what else did I want to show you? What else? I think that's it for this episode. Yeah, I think I covered everything. I am going to put a little tour of this room. I posted it in my Facebook group, but I'll show you just the progress I've made in here. I'm really proud of it. I think it's beautiful. And I know you guys can kind of see behind me, but there's this shelf and then there's another shelf over there. And I'm really proud of the way it turned out. I think my room is beautiful and I'm happy with it. And yeah, that was one of the things, like, I asked in the Facebook group for everyone to show me their stash, and everybody's stash is so beautiful. And I'm really proud of everybody for, you know, showing me their house, showing me what they've done and what they've collected. And even if it's in boxes and totes, like, it's cool. And I imagine rummaging through their stuff just to see what they got. You know, I don't want to go in and steal any of their yarn. I love yarn. I love discussing yarn. I love seeing other people's yarn. And I'm always fascinated with the way it's stored and like what they collected. And so I've looked at every single picture that's been uploaded and I'm like, oh, what is that? What is that? Oh, that's so pretty, you know? And I've gotten a few nasty comments from people, and I think it's jealousy. Just how do you have that much yarn? What are you going to do with all that? How are you possibly going to use all that yarn? I plan on using every skein in this room. And to question someone else's property is rude and inconsiderate. And I don't understand why people have the audacity to do that or to question me. It's beautiful. I'm proud of this. I'm not ashamed at all that I have collected this much yarn. A lot of which is clearance or thrift store, which I'm very proud of these things that I've collected. I'm proud of what I've been able to create. And so like that, it kind of like made me really sad for a couple days, because it was like, these people were legitimately criticizing me. And then they were criticizing me about my age, like, oh, good thing you're young, or oh, how young are you? Are you possibly going to be able to use that in your lifetime? Well, I'm 40 and I plan on living at least until 80, so I have 40 years to use these skeins of yarn. You tell me. And no, I shouldn't have to defend myself. And I feel like that's what I'm trying to do, but I'm going to end this. I'm going to show all of you my beautiful yarn room. I'm going to give you a quick little video snippet of that. And no nasty comments, because I will either block you and delete you, or I'll probably block you and delete you. Because part of me wants to go off on people and be like, how dare you? But, you know, whatever. Anyway, I was really proud of everybody that showed their room. And I know Miss Carrie Penny, she showed me her room on the post, and her room is gorgeous. And she has a lot of gorgeous yarns, and I would just love to go play in her room too. Like, her room is gorgeous. But she also got a couple snotty comments. I don't understand that. I don't understand that at all. I'm really proud of Carrie, because Carrie she's been on a yarn ban for a while, and she only buys yarn to do reviews with it, and then she makes something out of it, and then she has donated a lot of stuff. A lot. And I told her, I said, I'm so proud of you, because I can see that she's making progress. And I totally pay attention to her videos. I really do. She will be in a video, and like her shelf behind her will be full, and then like the next day or the next video, there will be a small hole there. And to me, that drives me crazy, because I don't like gaps in my yarn. So I take notice. I'm like, oh, she's got a hole there. Like, she needs to fill that up with more yarn. But no, she is legitimately working down her stash one skein at a time. So, like, way to go, Carrie. I mixed her her first name and her last name, Carrie Penny. Way to go, Carrie. You're doing an awesome job. Keep going, girl. I'm proud of you. That being said, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to end this video, and here's my yarn room.